is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Good morning. Welcome to DBL. The city of Louisville held a vigil last night, and crowds of people came together to pay tribute to the victims who were killed and wounded in the mass shooting at a bank on Monday. Police also released the 911 calls yesterday, including one from the shooter's mother. Let's take a listen and talk on the flip side.
I don't know what to do. I need your help. I think he's never hurt anyone. He's a really good kid. Please don't come up to him. We don't even own guns. I don't know where he would have gotten a gun. But please, he's non-violent. He's never done anything. Please.
I do not need you to go to the location at this time, okay? It's dangerous there.
You've had calls from other people, so he's already there?
Yes.
So one of the other victims who was shot but not killed was the shooter's former mentor at the bank. Dana Mitchell told CBS News that she knew the shooter very, very well and, quote, he never made me feel like he would have done this, not in a million years. She described him as a very kind and soft-spoken guy. Dana was shot in the attack. She played dead so he wouldn't shoot her again. We're also learning the shooter was being treated by a mental health professional for depression and anxiety. Gentlemen, what do we think about these new information? Also that 911 call of the mom trying something to stop it beforehand. What do you think, Jeff?
I don't know what to think, and I'm running out of things to say. Yeah. You know, like we were running in circles about what the problem is. Can we prevent it? Red flag laws. When it's like, maybe we just roll the dice with this AR-15 thing. Maybe we just roll the dice and see what happens. There's still going to be school shootings. There's still bad things that are going to happen. It's not going to fix the world's problems. But it seems like there's one common factor in all these. And people just want to hold on, and we just run in circles, and we blab up here. And then what do you think, Alan? And what do you think? And then we go to commercial break. And then next week, it's Thursday. We'll have a shooting by Monday, and we'll run around in the same circle again. But everyone's going to have their feet dug in on their side of the aisle. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore.
It's weird for probably the biggest pessimist you guys know to even think that. I feel like this might have moved the needle again, because we have now seen, because it used to be, well, you know, mental health, and somebody should have said something, and his mom should have done something, and friends should have reached out. Everybody did that. The friend reached out. The mom reached out. He was in mental health care. He was on medication, I believe. I want to make sure. I'm not sure. I'm assuming he was. He was getting mentorship. He had no violent past. This is the only thing left is the AR-15. And until we realize that that's the thing, if we want to appease 30% of the country, 35% of the country so they don't get mad, they didn't worry about 51% of the population getting mad about abortion. It's so interesting how we crammed through abortion in like what, it seemed like a couple months. That memo got leaked in June to kind of let people know that this is going away, and it was just gone. And no one said anything there. Amy Coney Barrett, she's in her late 30s, early 40s, Supreme Court Justice. I didn't know who she was. Next thing you know, she's a Supreme Court Justice forever, like probably longer than you and me will be alive. And that just got through. No one said anything. People said, wait a second. They said, shut up, and everybody moved on. So maybe if we just push this through, give it the Amy Coney Barrett, you know, abortion treatment, just push it through. That side doesn't care if you're mad. This side is like, well, we're going to have a talk at the table. I don't remember too many talks about abortions. It was just done.
Action. I know what you mean. I just want to say around 50% of Americans support a federal ban on assault weapons. That's about down 9 points from a previous survey. But speaking of what you guys saying, the common denominator, the AR-15. Let's talk about this. There's a new gun control PSA. It has people talking because it features veterans who are now calling for a federal assault weapons ban. Take a look.
I was stationed at Camp Anaconda in Iraq.
In Afghanistan.
Vietnam.
My service weapon was an M4 assault rifle.
My service weapon was an M16.
It's basically the same. You know what? It is the same.
As the AR-15.
Same weapon that's killed hundreds of people in the deadliest mass shootings in America.
I know the power of this weapon firsthand.
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 And there is no reason
why anyone other than military and law enforcement should have an assault weapon like this.
Will this make a difference?
I think it's going to sway. I don't know. I don't.
You don't seem to
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think people are just dug in. You know, like what is happening in your life, and then I speak up here, and then people judge you for what you say, and it's like, what side are you on? And you're a loser if you're on. It's like, man, what are you holding on to in your life that if you don't have an AR-15 or 16, I don't even know what it is, in your life, that your freedom is taken away. Right. It's not like we're taking chicken off the shelves and you can't eat chicken anymore. It's like, what do you need that gun for other than violence? If you're not in the military or police, common sense, forget red and blue. Common sense tells me there's no need for that gun. You could have guns for sport. You could have guns for protection. What do you need that for? I don't have a bazooka in my trunk saying, hey, if things go sideways, it's my right to have a bazooka. What are you talking about? I don't understand what's happening, and we've been through this, right? We've had a ban on it. They lifted that ban. Other countries have figured this out. We have to start using our brains instead of our, you know what I mean? And stop saying, listen,
it's a bravado.
Maybe if like a group of people who had their children and coworkers and neighbors and friends murdered, maybe a testimonial from all them might move. I don't know. Again, you're not thinking what you're.
No, I mean,
maybe it won't do anything.
There's precedent for what you're saying, because don't forget, Dick Cheney's daughter was identified as lesbian, and that was the first time that there was a change in the Republican Party. Like, hey, we're not going to go with the whole they're chasing your kids into the bathroom thing, because that quickly became a, hey, my daughter's gay, I'm gay, and that's why we don't see as much homophobia that used to emanate from that party. And it's because it affected one of them at that time, the vice president. So maybe, unfortunately, Jeff, that might have to be what has to happen. I don't want to see any more people die. And to make your point, and what's even sadder about the point you made, you were like, should we get a bazooka? I think a bazooka would be much less deadly, because at least you have to take time to reload. This AR-15 is meant to mow down people in seconds for people that are unskilled at shooting a weapon. Yeah, that's why they don't get handguns and do it John Wick style. It's because when you shoot a handgun as an amateur, you can't do that.
Right.
An AR-15 is like literally a squirrel with its tail attached to it could kill a bunch of people.
I listened to Representative Moskowitz, and he said on the floor, you can't use an AR-15 to kill a deer because there is no deer left. There's nothing left. You can't even use it for hunting. I do want to say veterans are more likely to support banning AR-15s and military-style rifles. I also want to say this. I think you have a point about, could it come down to just states? You talked about abortion.
Right.
Could it just come down to enough governors being fed up? And we talked about Tennessee, for instance, Nashville. The governor is now trying to push gun control because it happened to him and his friends. Some of his friends died in that. Washington State is now pushing to ban assault weapons through the legislature. Maybe we go through the governors and the states and skip the red tape of the bureaucracy of the federal government.
And then the answer is to the other side, I'll just go out of state and get a gun, right? I'll just visit next door, and then you'll see a mass shooting with someone with a handgun, and then everyone's going to say, see, it happens with every weapon. You're going to take all the guns? No, man, no.
Let's just start.
You know what I mean? Just start
it's
ridiculous to me how we focus on certain things and relive certain situations, and it's like, this is an epidemic.
Yeah.
And we're not really addressing it. I don't know.
Exactly.
We'll say the same thing next week.
Coming up on DBL, he's probably right. Melissa Joan Hart shares her heart-wrenching experience. She herself helped victims of the Nashville shooting. We are talking about get to safety. And don't worry, we've got the latest on Jamie Foxx. I know I saw you writing in the chat here. No, he did end up in the hospital. What his family is saying about his recovery. Stay with us.
Somebody roll the clip.
Let's make sure we have Jeff's sex tape.
Wow, things are getting spicy here at DBL.
Cold-hearted snake, look into his eyes.
Let's roll that again,
Ready? Yeah, just so, the other side.
What's up?
Yeah, the other side wanted to say.
I can't do it, these stories anymore.
Was, I don't know. The Second Amendment, people, I'm trying to bring up the other side, and they say you have an absolute right to the right to bear arms. But if you read the Second Amendment, which no one seems to does, it says a well-regulated militia. This is unregulated mental health, lone wolves going out and killing people. That's not regulated at all. So it's not actually for the Second Amendment. But I'm going to get killed for saying that in the first place.
What do you mean killed for saying that? Here's another thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm almost over like the fighting back and forth because you can't win. People are going to say what they say, and they don't. There's no room to put your points on the table and kind of shift opinions. People who are staunch in their beliefs, there's really no conversation to have. You know what I mean? And it's their right to vote for what they want.
Like, even if your thing is to, I believe in to do unto others, that's something to believe in. That's an ideology. You believe in this weapon for what? In what purpose?
I know. I got it.
Should you need to defend your? I don't like. It's not even something that you could believe in. It just seems like something like you're not going to take this away from me because I don't want you to take it away. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of reason or ideology underneath it.
I think a lot of it when people on that side, because I talk to a lot of different people. I have different friends, and I hear a lot of different sides. And I think a lot of what that is with the gun, I think they're saying, once you take this away, what else are you going to take away? They're saying they don't want the government to start getting in their business, and they're like, once you do this, you're going to do something else and do this, and then my freedoms are taken away, and all of a sudden we're living, in a communist country.
But then I can say you took a
But I know,
away,
I'm just
right?
telling you the other side of what.
Welcome back to DBL. We are going to continue our conversation on the recent mass shootings across the country. And you might remember a few weeks ago, Melissa Joan Hart, she actually helped kids to safety during Nashville's school shooting. She told us all about that, along with something much, much lighter. She was actually revealed as the lamp on The Masked Singer. So there's a switch in gears here. Take a look. Please welcome the woman behind the lamp, Melissa Joan Hart.
Melissa, okay, so first and foremost, congratulations, but I also want to touch on this before we get to The Masked Singer. As a mama of two, I cried when I heard your story where you and your husband were helping little babies, kindergartners, fleeing from their school from the Covenant shooting. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, it's been a rough few weeks here in Nashville. That tragic event, I mean, we lived in Connecticut when we were nearby Sandy Hook, and we moved to Nashville, and we happened to be on our way to our son's school as we saw children fleeing, and we just helped them get to safety. And yeah, it's been a really tough time, but I think the town is pulling together. The community is starting to heal. We're starting to cope.
I just want to personally thank you for what you did.
We all saw that.
Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that.
We all felt what you felt too, and it was very difficult to watch. But on a lighter note, you performed Rocket Man.
I'm a rocket man. Rocket man.
Robin and Jenny guessed it was you. What do you think gave you away? Tell me.
I'm not a singer, and I'm not pretending to be a singer. This is actually absolutely, like, I was terrified. I'm petrified of singing in front of people. I've never done it live before, except at a charity event once for Idina Menzel's charity. Like, I sang karaoke. My husband went with me to hold my hand through the whole process because I was so scared. I was like, you have to go with me. You're a singer. And so it was challenging in so many ways, but he gave me the best advice. He was like, I was like really nervous and shaking. I'm like, I'm going to rehearsal. And he said, well, have fun. Because if you don't have fun, like, what are you doing here?
That's right.
And that was so true, because this isn't the kind of fear that should overwhelm. This is the kind of fear that's exciting, right? Yeah. This is the kind of fear that's just, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'll get embarrassed, or I'm not going to, like, lose my job, or my husband's going to leave me, or, I'm going to fall off a cliff. I think I have a very distinctive voice, I've been told. Yeah. So I think that in Rocket Man, you could really hear that it was me.
And I think it's going to be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find.
So I think that gave it away.
Well, it sounds like you had fun with it, and that's what's most important. But I'm curious, you get to pick out any of the clues that are given about you, or the songs, or the lamp outfit?
Well, you do a little interview with a producer who helps figure out the clue package. You kind of give them some details, things you've done, things you might think are helpful. So for me, like some of the clues were that I was on Maxim magazine. There was a cauldron. There was a heart at some point in the video package. You just see a heart floating around. I think there were hearts on the stage with me. They also showed 3 boys I've kissed on screen. So that was a good way to throw people off.
What was the hardest part of keeping Lamp under wraps?
It's really hard for me to keep a secret. So this was a challenge in 2 ways. I had to sing in front of people, and I had to keep a secret. So that was kind of difficult, especially when my 10-year-old heard me singing in the shower. Like comes into the bedroom and is like, Mom, no. No.
In your defense, you were singing in the shower. You should be allowed to do that. Totally. So tell your kid, hey, I paid for this house.
Absolutely. You have your podcast, What Women Binge, and I'm a really hard binger. So I wanted to ask you, what's been your latest binge-worthy obsession?
I'm leaving next week for a few weeks of work. I'm leaving my family and going to Canada to shoot a movie. And while I'm there on set, I am so excited to binge. I've never binged Outlander. I've never seen Outlander.
Honey, I know every scene. Sing us a song, the one that you love. You're gonna love it. Sorry,
I'm so excited.
It's so good.
You can check out my podcast in a few weeks. I'll be able to report on some of that.
Excellent. It's steamy, Melissa. Steamy.
Melissa, Tori thinks you have like
that's
hookups.
Why I have to be alone for it, right?
Tori thinks you have hookups at the Masked Singer. That's what she's doing already. She's auditioning.
Masked Singer airs on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Fox. Thank you so much, Melissa. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
You were awesome. Thanks.
Carolyn Reese sometimes uses a wheelchair to get around, but wants something lighter. Her search for an electric scooter led her to devices costing hundreds, even thousands of dollars, until she turned to Facebook. There, she found multiple ads claiming she could buy a scooter for $39.
I didn't see any under $1,000. Then I started seeing all these ads for $39, and they all say the same thing, $39.99, $39.99.
Carolyn asked us to check into it and verify if the claims are real or misleading. Our sources are the Federal Trade Commission, the Friends of Disabled Adults and Children, and Costco. Some of the ads make it appear that $39 scooters are sale items from well-known stores. We reached out to Costco about the Facebook ad that includes their logo. The answer from Costco: we do not advertise. An internet search led us to numerous legitimate companies selling lightweight scooters for anywhere from $500 to $3,000. Friends of Disabled Adults and Children is a nonprofit in Tucker that refurbishes donated items. Scooters are provided to families in need, typically for no more than the cost of replacing the battery. Chris Brand says that alone is more than $39.
Those batteries cost about $140, so even if you had a gently used one that you had to go buy new wheels for, or a new tiller, or electronic parts for, those are all individually cost very, very high.
The FTC wouldn't address the scooter ads directly, but told us online advertising must tell the truth and not mislead consumers. We can verify that $39 for an electric scooter is not in line with the cost you'll find at reputable retailers. The Facebook ads Carolyn Reese is seeing are likely too good to be true and at best misleading.
Welcome back. Jamie Foxx is recovering after he suffered some sort of medical emergency. His daughter Corinne posted this message on social media saying her dad suffered a medical complication on Tuesday. She said, quote, luckily due to quick action and great care, he is on his way to recovery. Now, Jamie's been shooting his movie Back in Action with Cameron Diaz in Atlanta. She actually came out of retirement for the film, which has been plagued with problems. Last month, Jamie reportedly fired 4 staff members, including 2 directors and an EP. Then an unexploded World War II bomb was found on the London set. And then another staff member was fired after someone tried to scam Jamie out of more than $40,000.
This is very strange. Everything that you just listed.
I feel like I'm on acid. Yeah, yeah. It's been very strange.
Hey, well, you've done great through the show so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeff, what do you think about this? You've worked on movie sets?
Is it cursed?
I wish I'd done more for the sake of this show. Yeah, I haven't worked on big movie sets or found
Jeff,
World War II bombs on the sets. I could barely find a chair. But yeah, so no, I don't know. This is super strange, and I guess right now we just speculate if we had anything to say about Jamie Foxx. If I have anything to say about Jamie Foxx, he might be one of the most talented, if not the most talented person in Hollywood today. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does. I hope he's all right because he is one of the, if not the best talents in Hollywood right now. So I hope it's nothing serious. I hope it's a lot more speculation and he could continue this movie, but I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point.
It's true because like singing, acting, comedy, and then we heard that Donald Trump impression, and his ability to transform is incredible. But I will say he is communicating. That we know, which is important for an actor to be able to do that. If you are speculating too,
that was a big speculation, Tori.
What?
To communicate as an actor?
No, but like you worry if he's in a coma or something.
I know. I'm trying to bring light to the story a little bit. Yeah.
No, but I think at some point, if it's something quick, maybe something with the heart, maybe a stroke, but whatever it is, we don't know. We're just speculating. We wish him the best. The Fox is the best. We know family was called into town, but shocking,
right.
and
I'm just glad we're doing a different story.
Absolutely.
We're not doing a different story because reaction time is everything.
Absolutely. Up next on DBL, a mom's genius hack to get her baby clean after mealtime.
Oh my goodness.
Is it? Oh.
I thought something else was happening.
Over the course of the next month, you may be seeing ads and posts urging you to get your COVID-related treatments like vaccines and at-home tests before they're harder to get. So will access to tests, vaccines, and treatment change after the COVID-19 public health emergency ends on May 11th? We checked with these sources to verify. Let's start with COVID tests. Once the public health emergency ends, access to free at-home tests will end for people with traditional Medicare. Medicare will still pay for tests administered by a doctor, like PCR lab tests, but there could be a cost for the doctor's visit itself. Private insurance and Medicare Advantage will also no longer be required to provide any free testing, be it at home or with a doctor, though some might continue to do so. As for vaccines and antiviral drugs like Paxlovid, access going forward isn't tied to the public health emergency. Instead, it's all about supply. The federal government has a stockpile of vaccines and antivirals. Those federal resources are free to anyone, regardless of insurance status. But numbers are limited, and ongoing access relies on federal funding that Congress hasn't provided.
The main issue will be for people without health insurance.
So for vaccines and antivirals, access will continue in the near term, but unless the government makes new policy, costs might increase once federal supplies run out. So we can verify that yes, access to COVID tests, vaccines, and treatment will change in the near future, but not just because of the public health emergency ending. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Airline passengers could be in for a rougher ride, all because of climate change. Let's connect the dots. Clear air turbulence happens in the absence of clouds or bad weather. It's caused by wind shear, that sudden changes in wind speed and direction. Experts say the jet stream is experiencing more wind shear as global temperatures increase. It's up 15% in the last 40 years and could triple in the next 40. Broad areas of turbulence can be forecast by meteorologists, but specific localized areas of clear air turbulence are challenging for pilots. One way to limit that bumpy ride, fly around the turbulence. But that means longer flights and more expensive tickets. And there are big consequences. Flight attendants experience the most injuries. New data shows that since 2009, over 160 people have had serious injuries from turbulence. That includes broken bones, burns, and internal bleeding. Now, the government is looking at new rules to help protect flight crews amid a dangerous trend. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Who's ready for some spring shopping?
I am.
Alice, we've got some amazing, just not. We've got some amazing products from our friends at Morning Save. Check it out.
All right, what do you have for us today, Steph?
Hey Jeff, and hey DBL Nation, I am super excited to show you the deals today. They are fabulous. Get ready to shop. So check out this. First up today, we've got this Art Precision Cooker Kit. So this deal includes 1 sous vide pod, 1 cookbook, 30 reusable vacuum bags, 1 vacuum seal pump, and 6 clips. So normally it's $130, but we've got it for just $49.99. So that's saving up to 62%. And check out this, Jeff. This is amazing. It's the Serafina 6-piece printed sheet set. So this deal includes 1 fitted sheet, 1 flat sheet, and 4 pillowcases. And we've got them available in queen or king size, and there are 3 different prints to choose from. So normally it's between $90 to $100, but we've got it for $29.99. So that's saving up to 70%. Next up, we've got the Conair Reflections LED lighted magnifying mirror. So this deal includes 1 mirror that is double-sided and has a 360-degree swivel. The brushed nickel finish is going to look sleek on any countertop. So normally it's $62, but we've got it for $29.99, which is saving you guys at home 52%.
That is a great deal. What else you got for us, Steph?
What about this one? We've got North American Wellness Heated Therapeutic Elbow Wrap. So this deal includes 1 wrap that will help alleviate pain, soreness, stiffness, and inflammation. It's programmed with 3 heat settings, but it can also be used for cold therapy. Now, normally this is $40, but we've got it for $12.99, so that's saving 69%.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you, Steph. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on the screen to take you directly to these products and more on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. Great job as always.
Before we go, we do have a viral video. A mom shared her genius baby cleanup hack after a messy meal. Check this out, everyone. She put her baby in the shower with the high chair for a really quick and easy cleanup, and it looks like the little one really likes it.
It's kind of like, if you think about the way, it's like floaties in the pool, but it's like, I don't know, I think it's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Like the kid, but it's not worried about drowning, and it can just splash.
Al, I love you, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was terrible. Also, better
Have you ever had a baby in the pool and experienced that terror?
Yeah, that's true.
But you don't need floaties in the shower.
Okay, hold up. Joel's birthday is today.
You mean
our graphics person